check the box or a signed contract? Which one is it? In this video, we're going to talk all about legalities on order forms just for coaches. Oh, and hey, did you know that I am in this cute office twice a week dropping videos just like this, specifically for coaches and the legal things they need to look out for? It's true, so make sure you like and subscribe so you never miss a thing. Alright, so I promised we're going to talk about whether the check the box or the e-sign is what you need to be doing. But first, I want to point out the fact that your order form is such an amazing opportunity for you in case of future payment drama with a client. You see, most coaches will have some very limited or even a no refunds policy. And by the way, no refunds policies are the subject of another video entirely. But my point here is that clients will still ask for refunds and still request chargebacks with the payment processor. And even if they don't know how to articulate it this way, what they're really saying is, I'm entitled to an exception from the refund policy for some reason. And one of the big ways that they make this exception or decide they're entitled to an exception is by saying, I didn't know what I was signing up for. So your order form is an amazing opportunity to recap very succinctly what exactly they're buying, when it becomes available, and for how long, next to the box where they actually put in their payment information. In a situation with a chargeback, you would be able to show the payment processor, this is the exact page that they used to sign up. So how could they not have known what they were buying? It was right on the page. So that order form is really valuable legal real estate, not just because it helps you collect payment, but also it's got your back down the road should you need it to be there. Now, the other thing about your order form, I hope it goes without saying, is that it should include encryption and a security certificate so that the information that your client is putting in, which of course is highly sensitive, is properly protected in accordance with industry standards. Most of us are using commercial off-the-shelf software and we're not using custom coded order forms. So this isn't as big of an issue as it used to be, but I do want to remind you, as we talked about in the last video all about collecting payment legally, that you never want to be writing down credit card numbers or putting them anywhere that is not totally secured and encrypted. All right, so we've talked about the fact that this order form is highly valuable real estate. In your payment process, we want to make sure that that order form is somewhere that you can go back, that you can double check that it is exactly as it was on the day that your client signed it. Now, the next thing that we want to have available is proof that your client understood the terms. In other words, what exactly they were getting, what the refund policy was, and all of that. So I get asked all the time, do my clients need to actually sign a contract? When do I send them the contract? Can they e-sign the contract? Will all of that work? Versus, can I just have a check the box on the order form? Now, there is no hard and fast rule about which one that you have to use. So instead, we go into practicality mode to make this determination. Whichever route you choose, though, you have to make sure that your client sees the terms before making payment, because we don't want them to make payment only then to see the terms and say, I wouldn't have signed up had I seen those terms beforehand. So if you are to use e-signatures, and I'll come to reasons why you may want to do that in a minute, you still want to have some kind of link on the order form saying you will be expected to sign the contract agreeing to these terms after you have paid. And then you'll have a link to a page that has all of the terms on it. Now, going back again to the dispute setting, that order form is going to show that they did in fact have an opportunity to see the terms up front before they paid. And so that's going to cut that argument right out. If your order form has the capability of having a check the box, you could have that check the box say that they have seen these terms and conditions and understand they were a condition of the purchase. And actually, that is sufficient so long as your system actually keeps track of the fact that they could not have made the purchase without checking that box. And when they checked the box, they could indeed see the terms that were there. Now, for higher priced programs, this is where you are more likely to face a chargeback or a refund request. So in those settings where possible, to demonstrate the commitment that your client is making, to be able to demonstrate to the payment processor that they had a full and fair opportunity to not only review the terms up front before they paid, but then also were asked to sign the contract separately. In other words, put their eyes on it again, and they did so. This undermines any kind of arguments that they didn't see the terms and that they didn't specifically agree to anything in there. Very practical, but hugely beneficial in terms of being able to defend you in a chargeback setting. So from a practical standpoint, for people 2,000 and under in a shorter program, this is less likely to be kind of a big disruption to your business if, God forbid, you did have to have a partial or full refund given. So in that case, you may be fine with just the check the box. It still shows all of the steps this person had to take to kind of ignore the terms that were right in front of their face. In other words, you're still in a good position with the payment processor. But for longer term programs, at a higher price point where it would be much more of a financial and other disruption to your business should they ask for their money back, you do want to have that additional step where it goes out for e-signature. As of this filming in late 2025, there's not really one all-in-one software that does this well and seamless in one process except for Dubsado, which is really not that geared towards coaching businesses, but I do want to put out there that it exists. So instead, what you'll want to do is on your terms, you'll say these are the terms you'll be agreeing to, have them pay. Then on the thank you page, you'll want to say thank you for your purchase. Your entry into the program is contingent on your e-signature on the contract. Keep an eye on your inbox. It will be coming soon. And then manually or through a VA or however, you can send that contract out for e-sign. I like Nitro PDF or HelloSign. Those are great. Have them sign. And at that point, you'll manually release access to the program. Now, I know that can put a little bit of a damper on the onboarding process, which is another reason why we want to make sure that we're only using that e-sign in higher priced programs so that the people are already really committed and have gone through a process to make the decision to buy. Whereas for people under $2,000, it may be a little bit less of a commitment and they may think, I'm just going to shirk my duty here to sign the contract, or I don't want to have to do these steps, or I don't want to think about it again, so never mind. That is to say, having a lengthier process that includes the contract signing could actually negatively affect your conversions, which we don't want to do. So we're walking this line. Under 2,000, check the box is probably fine. Over 2,000 though, we really want to focus on having them take that additional step, again with a secure encrypted software that actually keeps track of where they were and who they are and what time and date they signed, and keeping a record of that so you have it available at your fingertips should you ever have to rely on it. So these are your best practices when it comes to your coaching program order forms. I hope that you have taken great notes and you can go out and double check these things for your own order form. And I can imagine at this point you may be thinking, all right, so I know I need a coaching client agreement, that's obvious, but what exactly should go in it? And I'm so glad you asked, because that is the topic of the next video. Before you go though, make sure you don't miss that next video. Hit like, subscribe, and the bell, and you'll be notified as soon as it's live.